Hello everyone, my name is Jordan and welcome to Crocodile MTG. If you're new here, Crocodile MTG is a YouTube channel focused on competitive gameplay of the game Magic the Gathering, but also how to learn and grow as a Magic player. So if you're new here, welcome, consider subscribing, and I hope you enjoyed today's video.
Let's go ahead and talk about Izzet Ensoul. So Izzet Ensoul is a super aggressive deck in Pioneer at the moment. We have quite a few 1-drop or 2-drop creatures that are artifacts, and essentially our goal is to get one of these early creatures down and then equipped either Ensoul artifact, use Skilled Animator to animate that artifact and make it a 5/5, or also use Ghostfire Blade, equipped it, and make a 2/2 or a 3/3 out of it. And our point is to get extremely aggressive, extremely fast. Hitting for 5 damage on turn 2 is a way that a lot of decks are definitely going to win the game. But the thing is with this is not a lot of decks can do this. Not a lot of decks can have an attacker that is a 5/5 on turn 2. It's definitely one of the most aggressive game plans ever, but it can be disrupted pretty easily too. So the fact that we're equipping a low mana creature means that cards like Fatal Push are going to be extremely good against us. But that's why we have cards like Metallic Rebuke and in the sideboard like Mystical Dispute and things, trying to stop them from just straight out killing our creature. And maybe a couple of these Mystical Disputes should still be the other two Metallic Rebukes, just simply because if we are playing against a Sultai control deck or something like that, we definitely want to be able to disrupt the Fatal Pushes. But that being said, we have also Darksteel Citadel. What we can do here is, since this is an artifact land with Indestructible, we can Ensoul Artifact. Add one more. We can Ensoul Artifact the Darksteel Citadel. And if we're able to Ensoul Artifact the Darksteel Citadel, you have a 5/5 indestructible creature with an enchantment on it, and that's extremely good as well. A couple other cards we got to watch out for is Teferi Time Raveler. That's definitely one we want to be able to counter with either Mystical Dispute or Metallic Rebuke in our main deck here. So our 1-drops we have Ornithopter. So the other thing about Ensoul Artifact, not to jump around a lot, but Ensoul Artifact equips it and just makes the artifact's base power and toughness 5/5. It keeps all other abilities it has, so that's really good as well. Because Ensoul Artifact on an Ornithopter makes a 5/5 flyer. So the Ornithopter is a 0 mana card, as many of you know. It's a Thopter artifact creature with flying, and it's just an 0/2. But being able to throw an Ensoul Artifact onto a Ornithopter makes it a flying 5/5 that can essentially attack on turn 2. In our 1-drop slot here, we have Bomat Courier. Bomat Courier has haste. Whenever it attacks, exile the top card of your library face down. Discard your hand, or pay a red, discard your hand, sacrifice Bomat Courier. Put all cards exiled with Bomat Courier into your hand. This is extremely good and extremely good in this deck in particular, because not only is it an artifact creature construct, but it also has haste. It can start attacking on 1. It can start accumulating cards really fast. And this deck runs out of gas pretty fast, and that's something we have to be wary of. So being able to refill your hand with a Bomat Courier is extremely good. Every turn it attacks, you get a couple cards. Well, you get 1 card for every time it attacks. Later in the game, you're out of cards in hand. You can pay 1 red. You can discard your hand, which if it's empty, it's empty. You can go ahead and get like the 5 or 6 cards that Bomat Courier has accrued by attacking. You can also do this instant speed, so the turn you're going to pop it. Essentially what you can do is an attack, and then you get the card under it, and then you can pop the Bomat Courier, and then you can get the card into your hand. So that's a really good card. It's also an artifact creature, so we can Ensoul it on turn 2 if we need to. Which is also extremely good. I spoke Ghostfire Blade is another way that we can equip a creature that is colorless. So on the double check here, Enchant Artifact. Enchanted Artifact is a creature with base power toughness 5/5 in addition to its other types. I won the double check, it didn't turn it blue. So Ghostfire Blade is a pump spell. It's a 1 mana equipment artifact. Whenever equipped creature gets +2/+2. So the equip cost is essentially normally 3 on this, but you're able to actually reduce it down to 1 if it's equipping a colorless creature. So the fact that all our creatures here that we're going to be playing early in the game is colorless, we're able to simply pump all of these pretty much for just 1 mana, which is extremely good. It's also an additional 1-drop artifact that we can Ensoul artifact if we want. And then I'm not 100% if we can equip it to itself, but we may be able to equip it to itself also and make the artifact here a 7/7. Hey, good morning, Polaris. Welcome. We're going over our deck that we're going to play today. Just doing a little bit of a deck tech. But thank you so much for joining me this morning. The other card we're playing in here, which is a new one from Throne of Eldraine, is Ginger Brew. So Ginger Brew is a artifact creature food golem. It has haste, and you can pay 1, and it can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with haste. So that's extremely good. Being able to Ensoul artifact a Ginger Brew on turn 2, attack in, pretty much as long as your opponent's not playing like Mono Red Prowess or anything like that, Ginger Brew is going to be able to pay 1 and just become unblockable most of the time. If you're against an aggressive deck, also you can pay 2, sacrifice Ginger Brew, and you gain 3 life because it is a food. So that's pretty decent and good as well. Having an unblockable 5/5 is really good. Even an unblockable 3/3 with Ghostfire Blade is good as well. Last here on our 1-drops, we have Hope of Girapur. It's a legendary artifact creature, Thopter. It has flying, so again, similar to the Ornithopter, being able to make your 5/5 a flyer, really good. This one also you can sacrifice though, and until your next turn, target player who was dealt damage by Hope of Girapur this turn can't cast non-creature spells. So if you're able to attack in and ping your opponent for 1 or 5, what you can do then is you can sacrifice Hope of Girapur, and if they're playing like a combo deck like Lotus Breach or something, essentially all we do there is lock them out for a turn. They can't cast spells. So if it's on a key turn where you like attacked for 10 or something, they're at 10, you need 1 more turn to do your stuff and win. Essentially all you can do here is just once you hit with Hope of Girapur, you can sacrifice it, and then your opponent can't cast non-creature spells till the next turn. So that can be really good against the like Lotus Breach or some of the control decks. For example, also if your opponent's only out is like Supreme Verdict, being able to sack Hope of Girapur and just prevent them from casting Supreme Verdict is going to be extremely good. As an additional element here, we have Shrapnel Blast. Shrapnel Blast is a really aggressive card as well. Essentially all you do is for 2 mana, it's an instant. You can sacrifice an artifact and deal 5 damage to any target. So if your opponent has removal in their deck and we have Shrapnel Blast up, essentially if they go the Fatal Push or Ornithopter, that's a 5/5 or something, you can just sacrifice that Ornithopter, deal 5 damage directly to your opponent. This is also good for ending games, so if your opponent is at 5 life and all you need to do is sacrifice an artifact, you can just do this on your main phase, shoot him in the face with the artifact of Shrapnel, with the Shrapnel Blast, and then stabilize and win the game. This is also really good if there's like key planeswalkers or something, but 9 times out of 10 you want to be using this on your opponent's face. Since we're such an aggressive deck here, if we're taking time off of being an aggressive deck to deal with planeswalkers or creatures or anything like that, 9 times out of 10 we're probably going to lose. So you want to make sure you're going to your opponent's face with this as many times as you can. Steel Overseer is in here because it's a great pump spell for all your artifacts. It comes down with Summoning Sickness, so you can't use it this turn. It comes down since it's an artifact creature. But then you can tap it, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So that's extremely good for pumping up your team, and extremely good with Stonecoil Serpent as well. Stonecoil Serpent is one of the last colorless creatures we have in the deck. This card is going to be extremely good, not only in Pioneer right now, but also in this deck, and also I think it's going to be huge in Ikoria. So the fact that this card can come down as a 1-drop, have a 1/1 counter on it, it has Reach, Trample, Protection from Multicolored, and whenever it enters the battlefield, put X 1/1 counters on it. So if it has a 1/1 counter on it, if you're able to equip it with one of the mutated cards, it's literally going to become like a 5/5 or a 6/6 with Reach, Trample, and Protection from Multicolored, and that's going to be extremely good in this format. It doesn't dodge a lot of board wipes, so you have to be wary of that. but honestly, the fact that this has protection from multicolored is going to be extremely important. But the fact that it has reach and trample as well is good as well. So Stonecoil Serpent, again, is a great card in Pioneer. There's a lot of multicolored running around. This can get big really fast as well. You can just play it as like a 5/5 or a 4/4, just throwing it in your deck and making it as big as you can. You can also play it as a 1-drop. If it becomes ensouled with Ensoul Artifact, essentially what it does is the number of counters on here plus 5. So the base power toughness becomes 5/5, but if you add 3 counters on this, it's literally an 8/8 with reach, trample, and protection from multicolored. We have a Metallic Rebuke in here as a couple disruptive spells. It's essentially just a mana leak in Pioneer, especially in this deck with having the artifacts as well. It is able to reduce to 1 or 2 mana, which is really good. And then lastly, we have 4 of Skilled Animator in this deck. This is another way just to do the same ability as Ensoul Artifact on a creature. Now, it's only until Skilled Animator remains on the battlefield. So if they're able to remove Skilled Animator, you lose your 5/5 as well, which is kind of unfortunate. But if they're using removal on Skilled Animator, you're most likely going to win the race overall because your creatures are such a threat to your opponent as well. So that's a pretty good card here also. So a couple cards in our main deck here is our lands. I talked about Darksteel Citadel and how we can equip it with Ensoul Artifact, which is really good. We have our 2 Steam Vents here. Since we're such an aggressive deck, we're playing the full 4 Spire Bluff Canals. Spire of Industry here is literally a 1 mana. Pay 1 life, add 1 mana of any color, and activate this ability only if you control an artifact. Since we're always going to have an artifact, you can tap this, pay a life, and literally make any color mana you want. We have a Shivan Reef here. This is, again, since there's so many colorless cards in our deck, this is just an untapped dual land that we're able to ping ourselves once or twice if we need to. But for the most part, you can just tap it for colorless, be perfectly fine. We have a 2 of Mutavault here. This is just protection from board wipes and things like that. Being able to get in for the last couple points of damage after you've been so aggressive most of the game is going to be extremely important. We're just running 1 of Island here. Now, the Ifnir Rivulet is one of those cards that people look at first and are kind of like, you know, what is this? Why is this in the deck? This card does not seem very good, but it is actually very good. This is for 2 different decks. So it's for, well, I think it's mainly against 1 deck, but it's against, it's not a sideboard tech. It's a main deck tech against the Dimir Inverter decks. Essentially what happens is if your opponent plays Dimir Inverter and then tries to go off the next turn, or like if they Dimir Inverter on turn 4 and then are trying to win on turn 5, a lot of times if they Inverter on 4, their library is extremely low. So essentially what you can do is you can pay 2 here, 1 and a blue, sacrifice the desert, and then target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard. So if their library counts like between 1 and 4, and even 5 in most instances, you can most likely just Rivulet, and then you're going to be able to just kill your opponent because they're going to have no cards left in their library. So that's going to be extremely important against those matchups, just drawing. So it is just a 1 of in here. Again, we didn't want to taint the mana base too bad, but we did want to make sure that we had that in here as that kind of main deck tech against the deck. In the sideboard here, we have 2 of Aethergust. This is going to be against our green or red matchups when we want those in. We have a couple Wild Slashes here also. Again, this is just the kind of, if your opponent is playing anything that prevents damage, we want Wild Slash in here to make sure we can get through. Because Wild Slash, if it deals damage, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, damage can't be prevented this turn. So if they try the Fog or anything like that, we can just get through anyhow with the Wild Slash. Pia Nalar is pretty good here, being able to pump artifacts. It also creates an artifact when it comes down, so this is kind of decent. And it also, you can sack an artifact and make something unblockable. So if you're having a hard time getting through, if you're trying to be more aggressive, if you're against a spot removal deck and you want extra creatures coming down for 3, essentially you can Pia Nalar and you create 2 creatures for the price of 1. You can also sack artifacts again to get through if they have big blockers. and overall, it's just a really good card to have. We have a couple fries in here. This is most likely going to be against our blue-white control matchups or anything that has extremely large creatures that are white or blue. Again, it takes care of a lot of the planeswalkers in this set. It doesn't take care of Uro, which is kind of unfortunate. So we do have to be aware of that. But overall, Fry's a really good card against those planeswalker decks we want to get rid of. We have an Abrade here in the sideboard as well. Abrade deals 3 damage to target creature, or you can destroy target artifacts. So extremely important in the mirror match, but also being able to take care of low toughness creatures is going to be good as well. A couple Tormod's Crypta in here. This is mainly for the a couple decks here. We have the Dimir Inverter, again, that would be pretty good, being able to exile your opponent's graveyard before something like Dig Through Time, or also in response to an Inverter. Makes it so our opponent is most likely going to just lose the game. Or also the Lotus Breach decks. Tormod's Crypt is going to be extremely important in there. Their goal in Lotus Breach is to mill themselves out and then cast a bunch of stuff with the Breach. So being able to exile their graveyard at instant speed is going to be extremely good. We have to be aware of that. Aether Sphere Harvester is against a couple different decks. This is anything we want to fly over for damage. We definitely want Aether Sphere Harvester to come in. If we're against like the green-black aggro deck, we definitely want the Harvester here. Not only can it block anything with 4 power or less, it can also gain some life, but it also can fly over for some damage. We can, with this, also equipped Ensoul Artifact with it, and it does get flying off the Aether Sphere Harvester, so that's pretty cool. Again, against aggressive decks, we definitely want the Harvester here as well. Shadow Spear is definitely one we're going to want against anything that's playing a lot of little creatures, so anything like elves, or against aggressive decks as well. We're definitely going to want Shadow Sphere against anything we're trying to gain life against. But the fact that it gives our creature trample is kind of the main reason it's in here. I think it's extremely good in there. Being able to equip it, give it +1/+1, lifelink, and trample is going to be a huge swing in your favor if you're playing with like 5/5s that become 6/6 flying trample lifelink or things like that. And then last but not least, against any of our blue matchups, we have 3 Mystical Disputes in the sideboard as well. But that is the deck tech for this video. We went over it pretty quick, so hopefully if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below or throw them up in chat. I'll try to answer them, but thank you so much for watching. Let's go ahead and jump into some matches here. All right, let's go ahead and jump into match number 1. All right, yes, I'd like to be on the play first. That's extremely important in this deck. We have a couple of Shrapnel Blast. We have a Stonecoil Serpent. We have no way to make a 5/5 on turn 2, though. So I do think I'm going to take a mulligan here. All right, this hand is a lot closer to playable. What concerns me is we don't draw our second land. I do think this might be a mulligan the 5 just because we're really risking it not keeping a second land. We could risk it here, but I think mulliganing down the 5 is a lot better. Again, we want to make sure we have consistency in this deck. All right, I don't think we can go down to 3, but unfortunately we don't have another land in this hand. All right, I think I put Skilled Animator on the bottom. And we're gonna have to keep a hand that kind of sucks. Maybe I go down to 4. It doesn't feel great, but I think I do. All right, we're keeping this. This is really unfortunate. All right, Steel Overseer, Shrapnel Blast, and I actually think it might just be the Ensoul Artifact here. Yeah, I think we're gonna put the Ensoul Artifact on the bottom. That was really unfortunate, mulligan down the 4, not finding a second land drop at all during this. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get in for 1 here. Not the aggressive start we were planning on. This kind of starts out pretty rough here. Yavimaya Coast, most likely a slower deck here. At least we're going to go ahead to be able to play out this Ghostfire Blade and at least attack in here for 3 now. So now we have a little bit of a real clock here. So our opponent's not running a lot of removal from my knowledge, so what we can do here also is animate Mutavault, start getting in for 5. They do have Satyr Wayfinder here. most likely a Lotus Field deck. Ooh, they have Thought Knot Seer as well in the main. So that is something we're going to have to watch out for. All right, here I'm going to go ahead and activate and swing in first. If they chump block, that's perfectly fine. What we're going to do next turn is play Stonecoil Serpent for 3. And then we're going to start getting in for quite a bit of damage here. So next turn, we're going to be able to play... move Ghostfire Blade on the Stonecoil Serpent, attack in, and attack with Mutavault. So we're going to be attacking for a total of 7-8 here. And that's a 2-turn clock. So let's hope that's good enough here. All right. So they're actually missing the Lotus Field here. So this extremely fast start is going to be difficult for our opponent to come back from. We are going to play the Spire Bluff Canal. It is going to be tapped. We are going to move the Ghostfire Blade over to the Stonecoil Serpent. We're going to go ahead and get in here with everything and attack for 8. Putting our opponent down to 6. One more turn. Can we get there? Mulligan down to 4 on the play. Is that going to be game? Let's find out. So they have Sanctum here. That's perfectly fine. Oh, they have a Nissa who shakes the world. I don't know if that's going to be enough, though. So we attack in here. Oh, they attack for 3. That's perfectly fine. Another Stonecoil Serpent off the top here. Let's go ahead and we attack for... We attack here. Okay, all right. I think we save our mana here and just play a Stonecoil Serpent for 4. And I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is attack in for our opponent. And then we're going to go ahead and Stonecoil Serpent here for 4 as well. That's perfectly fine. And our opponent's now down to 4. We're going to go ahead here and Stonecoil for 4 as well. And as long as our opponent doesn't have a board wipe or extremely large thing, even Ugin here is not good enough for this deck. Ugin is one of those cards that normally is really good. Not today. So we're going to go ahead. We have 9 attacking power. They're going to be able to untap this breeding pool if they want. They can. Let's see what else is in their deck. They have Ugin the Spirit Dragon. They have Nissa Pilgrimage. This is most likely just blue-green ramp. So this is not going to be the Lotus Field deck like I thought it was. All right, go ahead and untap Breeding Pool. If they want to attack in, that's perfectly fine. We'll block with our Stonecoil Serpent, or at least think about blocking with our Stonecoil Serpent. But then we're going to probably be able to just attack in for lethal. I don't see a way our opponent can get out of this without playing a bunch of our Boreal Grazers and boosting the toughness of everything. And a mulligan down the 4 is going to do it, folks. We got there. Hey, Dan, thank you so much for joining me. Michael, Polaris, Dan, thank you all so much for being here. I'm extremely happy to see some consistent viewers and some awesome people in chat. So thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching this later on YouTube, we stream Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Our schedule's going to be a little wonky, so make sure you follow along. That way you don't miss anything on the stream. But thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for watching this, no matter where you're at. Polaris, I really enjoy the Ginger Brew is actually... played in competitive Pioneer decks. Exactly. Ginger Brew is actually really good in this deck. In my opinion, it's probably one of the best cards. So let's see here. They're playing blue-green. So a couple cards we can bring in here is Mystical Dispute if we want. I like the Metallic Rebukes a little bit more. Again, I'm not really sure. Maybe the Pia Nalar isn't bad. I kind of like the Shadow Spear. Just to kind of make sure we have that trample ability if we don't have Stonecoil Serpent. But again, for the most part, I think our deck is pretty set up to beat this deck. But again, we just want to make sure we can get there. Maybe we bring in a couple Wild Slashes to get rid of just silly little blockers like the... what's it called? The Satyr Wayfinder here. So maybe we bring in these 4 cards. I'm not a huge fan of the Mystical Disputes until I actually see something I want to Mystical Dispute. But I think what we want to do is maybe trim like a Steel Overseer and maybe a Skilled Animator. Definitely bringing in the Pia and Kiara plus the Shadow Spear. Giving something unblockable is going to be extremely good. But also the fact that there's 2 creatures for 1 is going to be good as well. Let's see here. Ensoul Artifact we definitely want here. Hope a Gearper, that is probably good enough to keep in the main deck here. Shrapnel Blast also good. Maybe I just hold on the Wild Slashes and just see how this plays out. I don't want to over sideboard because I don't want to lose the consistency of our deck, but we definitely just kind of want to go through and see here. Mulligan down the 4 though, extremely, extremely awesome that we got that game there. Let's go ahead and jump back into it. All right, our opponent most likely brought in some removal for artifacts if they had it in their sideboard, so we have to be aware of that. Metallic Rebuke could be really good here if we find it. Let's hopefully hope we get more than just one land this time. Again, I will say with this deck, you want to mulligan aggressively. As aggressive as you can. Hopefully you all can hear me pretty well today. Also, I made sure to go through, I went through this weekend and adjusted some of my webcam and also some of my audio settings. So I hope that's a lot better of a more crisp sound for all of you. Let me know if it's not though, or if it needs turned up or anything. Thank you so much for being here, though. Welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jordan. I run a YouTube channel called Crocodile MTG, and I also stream on Twitch, so make sure you're following along both places. But thank you so much for being here. We did just achieve Twitch affiliate as well, which we're extremely excited about. I think this is a keepable hand. I think being able to turn 1 Ornithopter, Darksteel, and Bomat Courier is definitely going to lead to a turn 2 play that's going to be extremely good here. Let's go ahead and play Darksteel. We'll go ahead and cast Ornithopter. We'll go ahead and play Bomat Courier and get in for 1. We have the Spire Bluff as well, so we're going to be able to pump something here. Most likely the Ornithopter because it's a flyer, and we don't want to get chump blocked by something silly and little. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Alright, let's see here. They put Uro in Grave. They took the Forest. Okay. We also have a Metallic Rebuke here we could think about holding up if we wanted. I think it's better here just to get aggressive. We want to play as fast as we can. We'll go ahead and swing in with a 5/5 Flying Ornithopter. And then hopefully our opponent doesn't have a flyer or a removal spell. And if they don't, we're going to be able to play next turn. We have the choice of leaving up Metallic Rebuke, which I think is probably important in this matchup. But we also have a Stonecoil Serpent we can make extremely large. But I think our opponent most likely is going to be tapping out most of the time in this matchup. So I think next turn is just going to be holding up the Metallic Rebuke and the other Metallic Rebuke the following turn. So as long as our opponent can't stabilize this turn, I think we're in pretty good shape here. Alright, they play the Forest we know about. That's perfectly fine. What do they have here? Destroy target artifacts. So that's going to set us back a little bit here. That's pretty unfortunate. Alright, we're most likely this turn, I think, just going to play the Stonecoil Serpent here for 3. And then we'll see if they have another... So choose an artifact or enchantment, its owner shuffles it into their library. Alright, that's perfectly fine. I kind of want to swing in with this Bomat Courier and start accumulating cards or just trade with the Satyr. You can play Stonecoil on 2 and hold up Rebuke. I thought about that, but I think for the most part they're going for a turn 5 large creature. So I did want to wait on that, which I think is okay. So I think here we just attack with the Stonecoil Serpent, hold up Metallic Rebuke and the other Metallic Rebuke as well, if we can. And then we also have Shrapnel Blast if we need. So here is what I'm going to do. If I Metallic Rebuke anything, I'm probably going to tap Citadel, Island, and Courier. And we can't kill them next turn, but we're getting pretty close. Alright, I think Growth Spiral's fine. I think we will just want to Metallic Rebuke anything they play here. That's not Metallic Rebuke. Or that's not Growth Spiral. Okay, so Blast Zone coming down. That's actually a pretty important card to note. It doesn't hit Stonecoil Serpent, though, which is extremely good. I said that before the Ornithopter died. Ah, I see. So here I think is fine. We'll go ahead and pass. Shivan Reef, that's pretty good. I think we're going to go ahead and just attack for 3. We're getting pretty close to just Shrapnel Blasting them out of the game. But now we have 2 counter spells able to be held up. So that's going to be really good here. Alright, let's see what they have. I will assign damage. I'll let you do your thing, and now I'll pass the turn. They could Blast Zone here, which I think is fine if they do. I think they're cutting themselves off of mana if they do that. Alright, that's fine. Again, they just killed the Bomat Courier, so I'm not too worried about that. We only have 1 counter spell, though, so we do have to be aware of that. Only 1 Metallic Rebuke able to be played here. All right, and I think this is gonna be able to. All right, they probably make 6 mana here if they're playing something like Hydroid Krasis. Oh, they played an Uro. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. Goodbye, Uro. Oh no, they have the okay. All right. No, I'm not gonna play that, unfortunately, because yeah, we don't have that. All right. They might be able to stabilize here. We need to draw something really good off the top here, like an Ensoul artifact. Let's see if we can find one. We drew a couple lands now, so it's about time to draw a non-creature spell. What do we got? We got an Ornithopter. That's not quite what we're looking for here. We have another Metallic Rebuke. We also have a Shrapnel Blast. Let's see here what we can do. I guess let's just pass the turn for now. Them killing Bomat Courier was pretty relevant there. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to pass the turn and hopefully find either another Shrapnel Blast or a Ensoul artifact. That way we can get there. So this is pretty decent. They have Spell Mastery. They're going to be able to put 2 cards in, 2 basic forests onto the battlefield and 1 into their hand. Now we'll go ahead and see if they play anything here or attack with Uro. Attacking with Uro seems pretty good. Yep, that's going to be an attack with Uro. Up to 13. We're going to go ahead and take the 6 here because we want to be as aggressive as we can. We're taking 6 down to 13. We have 3 power on the battlefield. We really need something like an Ensoul artifact here. Drawing another Shoven Reef, that's not the greatest. We're definitely getting out of range of using Metallic Rebuke as well, which I'm a little concerned about. We'll go ahead and attack in for 3. We'll see what our opponent has, if they have anything. Literally all we're doing is preventing the Uro from life gain. The Uro does not have Trample, which is extremely important. We can block here with Ornithopter if we need to. But again, we want to be extremely careful with what we're doing here. They're targeting themselves, putting 4 cards into their graveyard. So Unravel, Hinterland Harbors, Garingbrigg, and Nissa's Pilgrimage. I wonder if they just don't have anything in hand other than this Uro, so they're trying to find something. I do think here we want to just Uro, like block Uro, I think. And maybe I just use the Shrapnel Blast now. Yeah, I guess. Uro doesn't have Trample. That's not great though, but we'll see. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can find something else. Potentially if we get in for 3. I mean, we can't Shrapnel Blast them out, which kind of sucks, but we're trying here. All right, what are they digging for? Another Uro? All right, they have Cavalier. We're getting a look at their deck a lot more, so that's extremely important. All right, it looks like they're just missing cards or something. I don't know what's going on. Another Stonecoil Serpent we can play for 6. That one I'm a pretty big fan of. The question is, do I just... I probably want to hold up Metallic Rebuke, right? I don't think it matters at this point. I think if they have removal, they're going to be able to use it whether we have Metallic Rebuke or not. So let's go ahead and just play this Stonecoil for 6 and see. The other thing with Stonecoil Serpent, which I literally just forgot about until now, is it has protection from multicolored. So we're going to be able to block this Uro if we need to. Ah, man. Okay, that wouldn't have mattered anyhow, because even if I played the Stonecoil Serpent for 5, we would have just taken the damage. Or we would have not been able to Metallic Rebuke back. So that kind of sucks. But again, our opponent is down to, well, they're up to 9 now. Hopefully we can get them down and then find something else that's going to be extremely good here. Polaris, is Kroxa consistently played in any deck, or is Uro managed to find its place? So Uro is blue, and I think that's why you see more of Uro. But Kroxa is definitely popping up in a lot of places. Kroxa is really good here. All right, our opponent just has a bunch of lands and some grazers in hand. We're going to go ahead and play this Ornithopter. I think we're still going to attack. We're definitely risking everything on this Ornithopter here, but again, I think at this point, our opponent just has quite a bit locked up. We have to find something huge here. All right, exile an artifact. Yep. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and concede and go to game number 3. We're gonna be on the play, so we're definitely taking a better approach here. Yeah, Croxa played in Modern, Junt. There are a couple Pioneer decks that play Croxa as kind of, they're just trying it right now, I believe. But yeah, Croxa is definitely one of those really good cards popping up as well. But for the most part, it's Uro, but I really think it's just because it's, all you have to do is splash green in a blue-white deck, or a blue-green deck, or anything like that. The fact that it's blue adds so much, so many better control cards that you can use to win the game. I really think that's why Uro's seen more than Croxa. All right, let's see here. We have Skilled Animator. I kind of want to put that back in just because we kind of didn't get there last game. Let's see. They have Uro, so maybe I want the Aether. Actually, this is probably an Aether Gust matchup. They have enough green threats where we can just put Aether Gust in and leave it up. I like the Metallic Rebuke. I don't really think we need the Mystical Disputes, despite them having Mystical Disputes as well. I know a lot of people want to bring them in to kind of mitigate their Mystical Disputes, but again, I think we want to just be able to get under our opponent and hit them as hard as we can. That being said, I could see trimming another Skilled Animator because they have the Mystical Disputes. If they're holding up Mystical Dispute, we played Skilled Animator. Not going to be great for us. I like the Shrapnel Blast. Again, Steel Overseer is one of those cards that are good, but I could see maybe trimming. We definitely want the Ginger Brew. It's Ghostfire Blade. Bomat Courier. Courier's good, but maybe I trim a Courier here, just as a one of, and then we play these Aether Gust and Metallic Rebukes. Let's go ahead and see how that goes, because being able to put Uro on top or bottom might be good, good swing in our favor. All right, Bomat Courier into 2 Aether Gusts, a Ghostfire Blade, and a Shrapnel Blast. I think this is keepable. I'm not super impressed with it, but I think it is keepable here. Also, you want to think of a sweet Fluctuator reprint, Commander 20. Yeah, I know, I saw that and I thought of you, Polaris. I was like, Fluctuator reprint. It was so funny to see, though. That was awesome. I haven't uploaded the video yet of the Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. I definitely think that's pretty funny. All right, they're most likely holding up Mystical Dispute here, but I'm gonna impress them with our Ghostfire Blade that can't be countered. And we're gonna go ahead and get in here for 3. This is a hand I can see popping the Bomat Courier eventually and getting some better cards here. But we're just going to be aggressive as we can and hold up Aether Gust when we can as well. All right, most likely going to play a Satyr Wayfinder here. Revealing 4 cards. They probably take a Forest here. Yep, they do. So they have a Forest. Here's a Spire Bluff. I think we just go ahead and attack in for 3. I don't think there's any point in using an Aether Gust on the Satyr Wayfinder. We want to use Aether Gust on something like Uro that comes down when possible. You should give it another go. Update the new cycling cards. Yeah, we'll try that, Polaris, definitely. So I have 3 cards here. That's not a bad pop if I need to pop it. But for the most part, I'm just going to try and... All right, Arboreal Grazer, fine, whatever. They add a land... All right, they had a Breeding Pool tapped, and now they play a land per turn. I know they have the Forest. Okay, they still have a Forest in hand. Interesting. Maybe I just Aether Gust away the blocker. And maybe I just hold still. I'll hold, see what they have. Ooh, Steel Overseer. So we're going to go ahead and pay 2 here. We are going to go ahead and attack in, and then we're going to go ahead and play Steel Overseer. Holding up the Aether Gust in case they play anything super large next turn. All right, 4 cards also under Bomat Courier, so if we need to, being able to block is going to be extremely, or being able to pop this is going to be extremely good. So go ahead and play Steel Overseer here, and we do have Shrapnel Blast also in case they have a removal spell, but any removal is most likely going to be green. I'll debate whether we want a Shrapnel Blast or Aether Gust based on the way they tap their mana. So we'll see here what they have. If they just go for something large... I don't think that's going to matter too much. A lot of cards under Bomat Courier. Ooh, and a Stonecoil Serpent. That's definitely a good one here. So I think I want to start with Stonecoil. I think I'm just going to Stonecoil on 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and use Steel Overseer to pump the team. All right, we'll see what they got here. Mystical Dispute. All right, that one's fine. Using Mystical Dispute to... get rid of a Steel Overseer. It kind of sucks, but that's all right. Gonna go ahead here and attack for a bunch. Attack in for 4. Next turn it's 5 and continuous and continuous. We definitely want to hold up the Shrapnel Blast and the Bomat Courier, depending on what our opponent's removal is. If they have a like destroy target artifact, I'm just gonna probably pop Bomat Courier here. Nissa. So I think this is worth attempting an Aether Gust. They used Mystical Dispute last turn, so they might have another one in hand. It looks like they do. Let's hope they don't have a removal spell now for the Bomat. If they do, that's pretty unfortunate. But if they don't, okay, cool. They grabbed a forest, so they still have 2 mana available to them. All right, what do they have here? Darksteel off the top. That's going to be really good here. I think we're going to go ahead and attack in for 4 at our opponent. Just be extremely aggressive. I could see maybe Shrapnel Blasting and then popping the... All right, let's see if they block. All right, pump the team. Get in for 5. They're at 7. We have both an Aether Gust and a Shrapnel Blast in hand. I think I just hold here. I think we're in a pretty good spot where they potentially could lose. Say UPM with newly spoiled cards. Okay, we'll take a look at that right after this, Polaris. Thank you for that. 6 creatures. 6 mana. They have quite a bit of mana here. What do they got? Cavalier. I'm going to go ahead and Aether Gust that. I do not want something like that onto the battlefield. Let's see what they got. Even if they Mystical Dispute here, I can just pay for it. So I'm not too concerned about that one. Especially if their cards in hand is literally just a Mystical Dispute. Alright, what's our opponent have? Because next turn we can literally... So they let's see, untap, attack in for a bunch. Untap, attack for 6. Then we attack back. They have to block both. And if they don't, let's see, they trade. All right, this is going to be pretty important here. All right, they have Forest. All right, what's their last card in hand, I wonder? The other thing I could attempt to do is pop this Bomat Courier and find another Shrapnel Blast, but I think for the most part, I think we just want to see what they have here. I think we just attack with both cards next turn. I don't think we want to hold back here. I think with them only having 1 card in hand, I think we go all in here and force them to double block, and then we can figure out our plays from there, especially with whatever's off the top. So we'll see here what's off the top. We'll see if they want to lose both their cards to... All right, Skilled Animator. Is that a win? Is that the W? It's pretty damn close. So let's go ahead here and play Skilled Animator. Go ahead and pump the Steel Overseer. And now I think we're just attacking with both. And they have to block both. And if they choose not to block the Bomat Courier, we can Shrapnel Blast here for the win, potentially. And I'm not concerned if they get rid of the Skilled Animator because this is still a 3/3 and they still have to block it. So we'll see here what they decide to do, if they want to double block or if they... Actually, they can't even double block here. So if they take 5 here, this is most likely pretty free and clear for us. I think we're in pretty decent shape. You can Shrapnel Blast the Skilled Animator. What? I was like, nah, you don't want to do that. The Darksteel. Oh, yeah. I'm aware of that. So they could have a removal spell here. Okay, they're putting the top cards of their library down. I think they're looking for... Okay, they found World Breaker, but... Okay, they do have enough mana here to get back World Breaker. But then we can just Shrapnel Blast whatever they have here. Sack a land. Okay, bring back World Breaker. Alright, I think it might be too late for World Breaker, but... We'll see here. And we can also Shrapnel Blast with the Ghost Fire if we need to. I'll probably Shrapnel Blast whatever they attempt to do with the alright, sure. Do they have Mystical Dispute still in hand? This is gonna be pretty unfortunate if they do. Maybe if they Shrapnel Blast the Bomat Courier, maybe I just pop the Courier here. I could see potentially doing that. I think I pop the Courier. I think getting 6 cards in hand. Okay, that's really good. Yeah, now we have Pia and Kira Nalar. I'm sorry, Pia Nalar, and them not being able to block the Steel Overseer is going to be good. All right, I'm going to take 3 here. And now, as long as they don't have a counter spell for the Pia Nalar, I think we just win. All right, let's go ahead and play Spire Bluff. Attempt to play the Pia Nalar. Give Steel Overseer. So this can't be blocked. Wait, let me reread this. Target creature can't block this turn. Undo that. That was almost bad. So give both of these, make these both not be able to block, and then attack. Target creature can't block this turn. Okay, so sack a creature, this can't block. Sack an artifact, this can't block. Attack. If they play anything in response, I could have sacked the Darksteel as well. So that was good. Great games, opponent. That was actually really good. I'm glad I reread Pia and Nalar before I sacked an artifact. That could have been really bad. But thank you so much for watching. If you're checking this out on YouTube, go hit that like and subscribe button. If you're watching on Twitch, thank you so much for being here. Welcome. My name is Jordan. I run a YouTube channel called Crocodile MTG. And we also stream Mondays through Fridays, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here. All right, let's go ahead and jump into match number 2 here. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome. Let's go ahead here and see what our opening hand is like. So we have a Stonecoil Serpent. We have a Steel Overseer. This hand's a little bit slower, but I kind of like the two Ornithopters Steel Overseer play, but we're relying pretty heavily on Steel Overseer. Maybe being on the draw, maybe it's better to take a mulligan here and see what we can find. Let's go ahead and mulligan once. All right, Skilled Animator. We have a Bomat Courier and a Ginger Brew. We have Shrapnel Blast as well. I think this hand's keepable. If we find a second land, we're in really good shape. If we don't, I think we're still in okay shape. So let's go ahead and keep this. Let's Skilled Animator on the bottom. Keep 1 in hand and go ahead and jump right into it. Yeah, Astroslab. Astroslab is definitely, it reads very similar, but it's 1 and a blue enchantment, but then you have to pay 1. So I'm not sure which is more broken, Astroslide or that. All right, here's a Thoughtseize. I'm not too worried about a Thoughtseize here. Like, they could take the Ghostfire Blade, I think is one of the best cards in this hand. But Skilled Animator a couple turns from now is going to be good as well. And Shrapnel Blast, especially if they're pretty heavy targeted removal. But I think for the most part, we're in pretty good shape. I could see them taking the Bomat Courier as well, because Bomat Courier kind of gets us out of a lot of situations in case we end up mana screwed here. Okay, they took the Bomat. That's fine. I would like to pay 2 here in Ginger Brute, and then hopefully we find by next turn a land. I think if we find a land next turn, I guess it depends on if our opponent's mono black or Sultai control. If our opponent's Sultai control, maybe I just play out the Steel Overseer and kind of bait them into the removal spells. But if we do get a chance to play Ghostfire Blade next turn also, if they're like mono black, Oh, this could be, you know what this is? You know what this is? This is Dimir Inverter. That's kind of a doozy of a matchup here, especially with missing land drops. All right, gonna go ahead and attack in for 2 here. We're definitely gonna want to play this Ghostfire Blade as soon as we can. All right, let's see it, opponent. What do you got? What do you got on turn 3? Anything? Just counter magic? Definitely a slower start from us. This is kind of unfortunate. They would like to kill the Bomat Courier, so that's fine if they want to do that. Let's see here. I think here we just play Ghostfire Blade and attack in. We don't have the other land, unfortunately, so we're gonna rely heavily. And if they just have their literally the combo in hand, we're gonna be in pretty rough shape here. Dimir Inverter probably gonna take it down. Thank you so much for joining me, though. Happy Easter, everyone. We're 1 week away from Easter. I know it definitely doesn't feel like it with all the stuff going on in the world right now, but I think I hope you all are well. I hope you have some sort of plans this Sunday. Practice social distancing, but still call your family, call your loved ones. Let them know you love them. I think that's going to be extremely important here. Here, I think I just Ginger Brew, and I think I'm going to play out the Steel Overseer. I'm going to go ahead and attack in here. But I am going to go ahead and play the Steel Overseer this turn and attempt to bait some counter magic from our opponent. I have a feeling they're pretty heavy in the counter magic realm right now. All right, our opponent is down to 13, so that is not a large life total. Not huge. All right, they have an opt here. They could just have a counter spell. They could have some removal spell. Either way, I'm not too worried about it, I don't think. They did put 1 card on bottom, so maybe they just have a counter spell here. Yeah, a Hero's Downfall. That's perfectly fine. We're going to go ahead still and play this Ginger Brute. We're going to still get in for a bunch of damage. We'll see here, though, what they have. Maybe this is just a Jace, and maybe... I think we still attack our opponent. I think we still want to be aggressive if we can. But if we're able to play the Skilled Animator next turn and they don't have anything for it, I think that's going to be really good for us. So we'll see here what our opponent does. What do you got, opponent? What do you got for us? I like baiting a couple removal spells here or there. That way we can keep getting in. This Gingerbread's going to be good later in the game. All right, they have a Dig Through time here, so they could get a couple removal spells, or they could get a counter spell. So that's going to definitely kind of make us question what play we want to do, because if they get counter spells, playing something like Skilled Animator is not going to be that great. If they have removal spells, equipping Ghostfire Blade and attacking it, it's not going to be great either. So I'm not really sure what the best play is next turn. We're definitely going to try and find out. All right, they have the Fatal Push. If we draw the land, we can now Skilled Animator. Actually, I think I want to Stonecoil for 3 this turn. And then next turn, I can Skilled Animator either the Stonecoil Serpent, or I can equip Ghostfire and leave up Shrapnel Blast. Either way, this is going to be a 5/5 or an 8/8. And if they have a counter spell, if they have a removal spell, that's going to kind of suck, but they could just win here also. All right, there's Inverter. All right, do you have the Oracle in hand? If you have the Oracle, I think you just win. All right, flip the deck, all these face down. Awesome MTG sleeve. They have the Oracle, they win the game. That's pretty unfortunate. So they just openly win the game. No big deal. Whatever. On to the next one. All right, here I like Tormod's Crypt. I also like the Mystical Disputes. As far as aggressive elements, I don't think we want the Fries. I don't really think we need the Wild Slashes. The Shadow Spear is not bad, but only because it can give it a creature trample. Again, I'm not really a big fan of it. Aether Gust, also not really a big fan of. I can see bringing in the Pia Nalar, but again, I'm not 100% on that. We'll see here, though. I do want the Mystical Disputes. I do want the Tormod's Crypts. Tormod's Crypts also can be turned into creatures, so that's pretty decent here as well. As weird as it looks, I don't think I want the Hope of Girapur in this matchup. It is a flying 1-drop, which isn't bad. It's a legendary creature. Again, not terrible. I think maybe we could trim a Steel Overseer here, but again, it's a pretty valuable target. Stonecoil in this deck isn't going to be as good, so I can see trimming a Stonecoil here. The Ornithopter, pretty decent. I like the Bomat Couriers. The Ginger Brutes are also good. Ghostfire blade. I like this. I don't think we can cut the Ghostfire here. I can see cutting a couple skilled animators because they most likely have mystical disputes of their own. And playing a 3-drop later in the game is not as good here. So we are going to play 2 skilled animators still. I think we still want the Metallic Rebukes, but I also think we want the mystical disputes. And maybe we only play 1 Tormont's Crypt. Tormont's Crypt's only good if we get it here or there. But maybe we just want the 1. Maybe we play this. We just keep an aggressive hand and see if we can go for the W. All right, let's see the W. All right, this hand is god dang awful or awesome. One of the two. I think it's okay. I think we're going to go ahead and keep it. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst. I think we just want to be playing some Ghostfire Blades, pumping up the Bomat Courier we have, and then hopefully just getting there for the W. They probably have quite a bit of removal, though, so that's something that kind of sucks. But again, it's not terrible. We didn't take out any Ensoul artifacts, but maybe that's one to consider later in the game. They are going to reveal Watery Grave here, and they're probably going to go ahead and ping this Bomat Courier out of the game. I think next turn, yep, okay. I think next turn is just playing Bomat Courier, playing a Ghostfire Blade, or we can just play 2 Bomat Couriers. We can do that. I like 2 Bomat Couriers. You think you can take care of 1 Bomat Courier? Well, guess what? You should have Legion's End it on turn 2 rather than, going through and just thinking, no big deal. We can just take care of this 1 Bomat Courier, but no. We got 2 more here. So we're going to go ahead and get in with 2 more Bomat Couriers. We have a Ghostfire Blade next turn. We got to see what they have. Hopefully not Legion's End. Don't play that Legion's End. Don't play that Legion's End. They played that Legion's End. That really sucks. All right, go ahead. We're going to get Steam Vents here. They took all our cards. All the cards. They're rude motherfuckers. We're going to go ahead and play a Ghostfire Blade here. I'm going to go ahead and attack in with Mutavault. We got to keep the aggression up somewhere, so we're going to go ahead and play the Mutavault, attack in. They did have the Legion's End. That was probably the worst card that we were going to play against. But yeah, Legion's End here coming in for the W, most likely. Taking care of all our Bomat Couriers. That kind of sucked. But yeah, Legion's End, one of in the sideboard, I'm pretty sure. So here, let's see. This is a colorless creature. It's a creature. It has... Okay, so we're going to go ahead here, play another Ghostfire Blade. We'll see if our opponent does anything. Most likely not. We most likely get killed here by something silly. Go ahead and equipped, and we're going to attack in for 4. Let's see here. Every time you pray they don't have something, they have it. Yep, there's the Fatal Push. We're out of creatures. We got to find an Ensoul artifact or something. Get these Ghostfire Blades on something here, or Shrapnel Blast our opponent out of the game. So our opponent now, they can just hold up counter magic. Perfectly fine if they do. We're going to go ahead and play Ghostfire Blade here. We're going to go ahead and play Hope of Girapur, hoping it sticks. Again, I think they were just waiting for a creature here, but we're going to go ahead here and... equipped. Let's hope this is good enough. They probably have another removal spell. Fatal Push again. They have 3 Fatal Pushes, 1 Legion's End, and probably a Hero's Downfall in hand. They definitely have quite a bit of stuff going on. We just have a Shivan Reef. We're just going to go ahead and pass the turn. Pretend we have a counter spell. We do have counter spells in this deck, so we do have ways out of this or around this. But unfortunately, Legion's End going to kill us off here. Let's see here. What is this? Let's hope this is Inverter. And now let's hope to draw a counter spell. And if it is, and okay, they just have removal spells in their deck now. This is that is a good one. I think here actually we just play Stonecoil Serpent on 2, and then we double pump it here with the Ghostfire Blade. Let's hope. Oh wait, never mind. All they're doing is drawing removal spells, so it doesn't even matter what we have here. So I think we have a double L against Dimir Inverter, one of the best decks in Pioneer. We just could not be aggressive enough, and when we tried to be aggressive, it was met with removal spells. So the fact that they can just kill anything here in response, they have 3 turns still. I think the only way out of this is if we draw our Ifnir Rivulet as a 1-of in our main deck. Let's go ahead and see if we draw it. That's a Mystical Dispute. That's not going to be the card we're looking for. They have a turn 2, or they have a 2-turn clock here with the Inverter, gonna attack in most likely for 6 unless they have Oracle here. If they have Oracle, we do have the counterspell for it, so we'll go ahead and see here. They can't just Mystical Dispute back because we have enough mana to pay for it. So let's go ahead and see. Let's see if they're probably gonna kill us with the Inverter of Truth. I don't think, if we find a Shrapnel Blast, yeah, the Shrapnel Blast is not going to do it. And the straight 4 of Ghostfire Blade. All right, we're going to go ahead and lose to this Inverter of Truth. Absolutely nothing we could have done about this. That's pretty unfortunate. But again, thank you so much, and good game, opponent. So thank you so much for watching. Welcome. My name is Jordan. If you're new to the channel, I run a YouTube channel called Crocodile MTG. And unfortunately, we're picking up the double L from Dimir Inverter. I do want to give a big shout out and thank you to our awesome sponsor, ManaTraders.com. Without ManaTraders, we would not be able to rent any of these decks. ManaTraders allows us each week to rent a new deck, whether we're playing Pioneer, Standard, Legacy, or Modern. Any of those formats, we're able to rent all our decks from ManaTraders.com. Check out ManaTraders.com. Save 15% if you sign up today using promo code Crocodile. You save it off the first 3 months, not just the first, not just the second, but all 3. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you go check them out. They're awesome. They're honestly an awesome sponsor. I've used them for years, way before I was creating content for MTG. Now that they're sponsoring the channel, I can't be more appreciative of ManaTraders.com. If you're looking for custom playmats, mouse pads, or more, go check out Ink Gaming. Use our affiliate link, inkgaming.com/crocodilemtg, and a small portion of your purchase will end up going to the Crocodile MTG channel. We're also an AetherHub creator, so if you use aetherhub.com and want to check that out, go over to AetherHub, follow our account. We are at crocodilemtg over there. We post videos and deck lists over there as well. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this. This hand is a little bit slower. We have the Ghostfire Blade, so I think it's keepable. We also have the Bomat Courier on 1. We have a Mutavault in case we're against a control deck. I do think this is a pretty good hand. We don't have an Ensoul artifact, so we're not super aggressive, but I still think we can get in there for quite a bit of damage early on. Give me 1 second here. I did get a message here. I'm waiting on a package, so I want to make sure I have time to get that. So let me go ahead. Bomat Courier here, attack in for 1. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Go ahead and pass the turn here. I thought I yield through the turn, just yield through my opponent until the end step. Let's go ahead and see if our opponent has anything here. It looks like mono red. Are they just going to bolt this? No. What is this? So it can't block creatures with power 2 or greater. Interesting. So now we drew the Ensoul artifact. So now we're just going to, I think, Ensoul artifact. I think I Ensoul artifact the Bomat Courier here, actually. I think I just want to keep being aggressive with this Bomat Courier, and I think, a 5/5 Bomat's probably the best thing. It also, Zergo Bellstriker here can't block that, so we're going to go ahead and get in here for 5. Next turn, we have the choice of playing a Stonecoil Serpent or a Darksteel Citadel. I think playing the Ghostfire Blade actually keeps them on a turn 2 clock. Whenever a player casts a spell from Graveyard Ash Cell, it deals 3 damage to it. It also has First Strike. All right, how do you like this play? I like actually playing the Gingerbrute here, playing the Ghostfire Blade, and playing equipping the Ghostfire Blade here to the Ornithopter, and then attacking in for 8. And I think this is going to be probably a clock our opponent's not going to be able to beat here. Our opponent probably has a lot of burn in their deck, but I don't think they're going to be able to beat this one. All right, pretty good. Let's go ahead to the sideboard here. I like Shadow Spear. I also like Wild Slash in this matchup. Aethergust, probably not one we're going to need necessarily. I could see bringing in the Abrade, but I'm not sure if we're going to need that either. If I'm bringing in the Abrade, I kind of like bringing in the Aethergust a little bit more than that. I do like the Harvester as well. So we'll debate either the Abrade or the Aethergust, but I think for the most part we just want to play Shadow Spear. They do probably most likely have Abrades in their sideboard, so something we're going to have to be aware of. Excuse me, sorry about that. Bomat Courier, Ghostfire Blade, Gingerbrute, Hope per. I like the Ensoul artifact. I think if we're able to Ensoul artifact something, I think we'll be in pretty good shape. I like the Shrapnel Blast as well, extremely aggressive. That's the core of our deck. I like the skilled animator. I can see maybe cutting the metallic rebukes and bringing in these wild slashes. I do think I want to play... I think Steel Overseer might be too slow. I think I'd rather bring in a Shadow Spear and an Aether Sphere Harvester instead of having two of the Steel Overseers. That being said, they're good bolt targets. One thing we don't want to run into, though, is like a turn 3 Goblin Chain Whirler or something. They are playing quite a bit of like red creatures you wouldn't normally see. So if they're playing something like Devotion to the Red and playing like Goblin Chain Whirler and then boosting up, that's something we definitely want to be aware of. I do think we want all our aggressive elements, the Ensoul Artifact, the skill animators. I don't mind the Stonecoil Serpent because it can trample over for a bunch. We want to keep our flyers in here. The Bomat Courier is good, and I think the Ghost... I think the Ginger Brute's a little bit more questionable because I'm assuming they have a lot of haste creatures in their deck. So maybe I actually trim one Ginger Brute and bring in one Pia Nalar. I don't mind that play here. I do also think I maybe want 1 or 2 Aether Gusts. I don't want to trim our deck up too far, though. So I do need to be a little bit conscious of my where my creature count is. But let's see here. Maybe I take one Stonecoil Serpent out. I like Stonecoil Serpent. All right, let's go ahead and run this. Once we get more of a feel for their deck, maybe I'll bring in the Aether Gust here, but we'll see. So let's go ahead and see here. This is a good bad hand. This is if we draw land, we're pretty good. If we don't draw land, we're really bad. Do we want to keep this? Do we want to keep this hand? Let's see. I do think we want to take a mulligan here. I think it's just too controversial of a start. I do think we can keep this hand. Again, not the best of hand. We have a Steel Overseer, which will be a juicy target for a removal spell. But I do think here we just put an Ornithopter on the bottom. Put an Ornithopter on the bottle. Okay. And then hold up Shrapnel Blast when we can. Let's see here if we have a turn 1 play other than Ornithopter. We do have a Ginger Brute here. Again, not a great spot for Ginger Brute. So I do think we just play the Darksteel Citadel and pass. I think I want to hold up. I want to play Steel Overseer next turn in Ornithopter. And then if they want to kill the Steel Overseer, I think that's fine. But for the most part, I want to wait a turn. All right, they have a Karizev Expertise. That's perfectly fine. All right, I do think I want to play here the Steel Overseer, and I'll play out the Ornithopter. And if they have removal on the Steel Overseer, then I'll debate Ginger Brute or Stonecoil Serpent. But again, I want to see if we untap a Steel Overseer before I start playing out my threats. That being said, also, Aether Sphere Harvester is going to be really good on this board. So we're going to have to see here. Yeah, they do have the Wild Slash here for the Steel Overseer. So I'm going to probably play the Stonecoil Serpent next turn. Again, I think that probably gets countered. All right, maybe now I think in order to win this game, I think we have to play play Aether Sphere Harvester here. And then next turn I'll play Ginger Brute and Stonecoil Serpent and then leave the ability and I think we're going to have to block here with Ornithopter. So if they have multiple removal spells here, which they might. All right, they actually have the Destroy Artifact here for the Aether Sphere Harvester. So again, pretty unfortunate. I do think here I have to block. I have to block the Soulscour Mage. Again, they probably have some sort of, deal a bunch of damage. Ooh, they have an Ember Cleave. That one really hurts. All right, they have an Ember Cleave here. I don't know if we're going to be able to beat that. That's pretty unfortunate. So we're at 5. We could play this Ginger Brute, block, and gain some life. That doesn't feel like a very good winning play. We could Shrapnel Blast the creature that has the Ember Cleave on it. Again, that doesn't feel great. I don't really know if there's a way we can get out of this one. I do think I'm going to Ginger Brute here. Let's see. They attack for 7. We gain 8. We at least have we're on the defensive here. Not a great spot to be in, that's for sure. But I do think we're going to try. We are going to try here. I think we just block the monkey. Block the monkey. Alright, they attack in here with everything. The fact that Soulscour Mage has Double Strike, Trample, and Prowess is probably going to be the L here for us. But we are going to go back to the sideboard. We're going to bring in that Abrade for sure. All right, let's see. Show me anything here, opponent, and you got the game. You got the GGs, opponent. You got the GGs. All right, Wild Slash for the W and first strike and now normal damage. All right, we got the loss. All right, Abrade definitely coming in here now that we saw Ember Cleave. That's definitely a good one to have. I also think we want these Aether Gusts. So I do think I want to trim, let's see, an Ornithopter here. Ornithopter's good, but again, a little unfortunate. And we kept a Steel Overseer hand, again, not one we wanted for, we're just relying too heavily on the Steel Overseer, not one we really wanted. I guess, since we're against an aggressive deck, Gingerbread's okay, but I'm not 100% again because they have a lot of haste creatures. Ooh, I do want the Bomat Courier, I think, here still. Actually, maybe I want the Gingerbread over a Courier. Let's see, what do we want to cut? I think Steel Overseer is just too heavy to rely on. I think we do want to cut 3 of the Steel Overseers. And maybe it's just Skilled Animator too. Maybe this is just too slow. We have to be aggressive. We have to be fast. We have to be able to kill our opponent's stuff. So let's go ahead and see if that's going to be able to be done with this hand. All right, this hand has a turn 1 Ornithopter as well as a turn 1 Bomat Courier. Again, I don't think this is fast enough. I think we have to take the mulligan here. All right, this hand's a little bit faster. We have Removal. We have Disruption. We have an Aether Gust and a Ghostfire Blade. I do think we can keep this. I do think we put the, what do we put here? Ornithopter, maybe? They probably have a Wild Slash here for the Gingerbread, which is going to slow down our hand quite a bit. Let's go ahead and put Skilled Animator on the bottom. Not the best bottom, but again, being able to be aggressive and be consistently aggressive is going to be good. So our opponent did, it looks like they did take a mulligan down to 6. They did keep their 7. We're going to go ahead and Gingerbread here. We are going to go ahead and cast here Ornithopter. We have to be able to attack next turn. I'm going to go ahead and go. We do have the Aether Gust as well as a Ghostfire Blade here, so depending on what our opponent has, we are going to be... All right, and now I'm incentivized to kind of hold up this Aether Gust and just attack in for 1 again. And if they have just a removal spell, maybe I just Aether Gust, but we'll see here. All right, maybe I just hold Aether Gust next turn, see what they play. I can't imagine they are gonna like go a whole turn without playing anything, especially after this one. All right, are they just not doing anything here? That's definitely interesting. All right, I think I play the other Ornithopter. I'm definitely a little curious what's in their hand. Maybe it's just a Goblin Chain Whirler and I want to go for the Ghostfire Blade. I definitely play the Ghostfire Blade here. I think I just hold up still and hold up Aether Gust. Maybe this is bad because I'm not being aggressive enough, but I definitely want to hold up the Aether Gust here just in case they have anything that's completely game-wrecking. I really can't think of anything they'd have that would prompt this kind of play. And if they're going all in on like big threats, I definitely think they're going to lose here. All right, here's a Pia, but I do think I want to start getting in for 3 a turn. So I am going to go ahead and equip, and I'm going to go ahead and attack. And again, I'm not really sure what our opponent has. This Pia and Alar is going to be pretty good once we get it down. But again, I want to hold up Aether Gust to see what are they doing. Again, this is turn 4, so what do they have here? Is this worth Aether Gusting? Or do I just let them do their thing? I think if this is their best play, I just go ahead and Aether Gust. They can put it on top if they want, but that's what they're going to be drawing for the turn. They do put it on top, okay. So they're going to go ahead and Ghostfire Blade now, which is fine. Or they're going to go ahead and kill Ghostfire Blade now, which is fine. But now we have the Gingerbread and we can play... Ooh, that is a good one. The question is, what do I want to put this on? Maybe just Ensoul Artifact the Ornithopter and see if they have removal. And if they do, that's pretty unfortunate. Okay. But again, I have to put pressure on our opponent here. So now I like playing the Pia Nalar next turn and then just getting in for as much damage as we can. Alright, let's see what they got. Ash Zealot. If they attack in, that's perfectly fine. Alright, attacking in for 2. I do think I want to... Do I want to pay 2 here? Doesn't really help me any. I do think that is a no. I do want to attack in here first and then see if they do anything here. And then I'll play the PNLR, and then we'll have the ability to give things... Oop, I want to back up. I want to tap a red here. Play PNLR. Even if they blow up PNLR, we're at least going to get a 1/1 flyer from this, so we're going to have some abilities here. And then even if they kill PNLR, we're still in pretty good shape here. So let's see here. They have a lightning strike. So again, this is not going to our faces, going to our creatures. So again, we're in pretty good shape for the most part. Let's see, 2 Monastery Swift Spears. I kind of think I just chump block here and see if they have anything. The Ornithopter's not really doing anything on this board anyhow. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get in. Attack in for 2. Let's see. Now it's a race against the clock. Our opponent could have anything here. They could start sacking Ramunap Ruins, which I think is perfectly fine. They're getting in here for 3. We're getting in for 2. They could have the ability... Oh, they have an Embercleave. That is not a good one. All right, so Embercleave down. Let's hope to draw that Abrade off the top, or at least something to get rid of that Embercleave, or at least the creature attacking with it. This is a huge swing in our opponent's favor. Just drawing Spire Bluff Canals off the top. I really don't think we're going to be able to get back from this one. Let's see here. We block, we sack Gingerbrute. Again, I really don't think we're going to be able to get through this one. Prowess Creatures and Embercleave, extremely good here. Being able to also Ramunap Ruins, sacrifice it. Goblin Chain Whirler, probably going to be for the W here. Let's see. I was worried about that one. It did come in. It did get our creatures here. They were able to Wild Slash and get some of our threats off the battlefield. Our opponent played this extremely well, and that is why they got the W. We have a Bomat Courier in hand. We're going to go ahead and play Bomat Courier. We'll attack in and then pop it. Again, I don't think there's anything we can draw here to get us off this board, but we'll see here. Let's see. I should have played the Spire Bluff Canal beforehand if I was able to, but I do think I'm going to go ahead and crack this. Drawing a card. We drew a Stonecoil Serpent. Being able to play that is fine, but I do think that is going to be the GGs. So thank you so much for watching. Welcome. Mono Red Aggro going to take over against Izzet Ensoul. We played a little bit of a risky hand, especially that game 2. Not the best. Our opponent is tapping a bunch of mana and dealing 2 damage to us with Ramunap Ruins. So we are going to let this resolve, and that is going to be the game. Thank you so much for watching. Let's go ahead and jump into match number 4. That was a pretty unfortunate turn of events for us. And maybe it goes back. Maybe I reevaluate that matchup a little bit and go back and take a look at whether or not, you know, getting aggressive and maybe playing the Ghost Fireblade earlier would have made a big difference in that matchup. Maybe it would have, maybe it wouldn't have. But we will definitely take a look and see. We're going to go ahead and jump into match number 4 here. But yeah, let me know if you're doing anything for Easter. I'm definitely interested in hearing all the creative ideas, especially with the social distancing that people are doing for Easter. Please continue to practice social distancing. I know it's really hard, especially with the holidays. And I know especially with a lot of people that are religious and things like that. They want to celebrate Easter. They want to be okay. But at the same time, you gotta still practice that social distancing. But let me know your creative ideas that you're doing. I think this hand's keepable. Let me know your creative ideas that you're doing to continue to practice social distancing. I'd love to hear about that. All right, I didn't realize our opponent was on the play. They're gonna Thoughtseize us, and that is pretty unfortunate. So they probably take the Ensoul Artifact here, I'd imagine. But the thing is, we're gonna play 2 Ornithopters next turn and be able to hold up Metallic Rebuke, which is going to be really good here. All right, so we had a Darksteel Citadel. I do think we're going to play both these Ornithopters. And next turn, if they have anything that we feel like countering, we can just Metallic Rebuke it. Drawing that 3rd land, though, is going to be really good because Skilled Animator is going to be able to... Skilled Animator is going to... I think we just Metallic Rebuke this. No matter what they are, we don't really want them to fill their graveyard or be able to filter their things. And if they're relying on this for their 3rd land drop, I think we just, go ahead and do our thing. All right, that was a pretty good one here. Steel Overseer. We are going to go ahead and attack in with one of these to send a message to our opponent, letting them know we are an aggressive deck, and we're going to get aggressive even if we're only attacking for 0 power. That being said, thank you for watching and being entertained. And that actually was a pretty good play last turn. Being able to get rid of the Satyr Wayfinder there kind of held up our opponent on lands, And now they drew the Watery Grave, and they're going to go ahead and play the Watery Grave here. Oh, they didn't. Okay, they kept the Watery Grave in hand. All right, I do think here I want a Darksteel Citadel. I do want to tap this and pay 1 life to Skilled Animator. We're going to go ahead and give Ornithopter a pump here and give a couple more Ornithopters a pump. And we're going to go ahead and get in for 7 here. So definitely a clock now that we're getting on our opponent. And we'll see if they're able to do anything about this. They do probably have removal spells in their deck. I don't know how many they have in their main deck. Or I don't know how many they have in their... Okay, that's not going to do it here. If their just plan is to just Uro away things. We'll see if they pay 2, though, for a removal spell, potentially. Ooh, they just played that Watery Grave. Are they missing a land drop? They are missing a land drop here. And I do think this is possibly playing the Ginger Brute for the W. I do think here we're going to go ahead and activate... Mutavault just came in, correct? Maybe I should have played Mutavault as my land last turn. Yeah, I played Mutavault. That's unfortunate. Maybe a misplay on my part here. So let's go ahead and pump the team. Pay 1 for Ginger Brute. And go ahead and attack in for... Let's see. Alright, so if they board wipe next turn, though, I think we still can just... they most likely play Uro next turn, in my opinion. But I still think we can get in. I should have played Mutavault over the Darksteel last turn. If I would have done that, I would have been able to attack for lethal. Pretty unfortunate I did not. We were hitting for Xaxes there, and they did have to block, and that is going to be the W. Alright, so we're going to Sultai control this one. Maybe we want the Aether Gusts, because their main game plan's Uro. Mystical Dispute's also probably good here. I kind of like the PNLR. Wild Slash probably not that important here. We have Harvester, a Braid. I don't think any of those are good. I think we could bring in the Tormod's Crypts, since their main game plan is Uro. Ginger Brute, MVP, exactly. I like Mystical Dispute also, Fifi. I do also like the Tormod's Crypt here. Let's see. I could see taking out an Ornithopter. I could see trimming another Ornithopter. Maybe a couple Steel Overseers, because I feel like their targeted removal is going to be pretty good here. They probably have their own Mystical Disputes, so I kind of want to bring in the Skilled Animator. I think I only want 1 Tormod's Crypt, because it's good if we find it, but for the most part, I think I want the Aether Gust here. So let me think here. What's one more thing we want for PNLR? Do we want the PNLR? I think PNLR is pretty good, especially... I like Mystical Dispute, Ginger Brute, MVP. I like both. Yeah, I like Aether Gust here and Mystical Dispute. I think those are pretty good in the way of getting through. We got a couple Skilled Animators in here. We have 3 Skilled Animators still in here. I think that's good. I think I do want the PNLR. I think maybe the trim is just maybe like a Bomat Courier or something. It's good, but maybe I could see like trimming one, because if we don't have the Ensoul artifact, they can just block with something like their Wayfinder, and then we just end up trading a Bomat Courier for a Wayfinder. I think the fact that we're on the draw, I think we want to be more controlling, have more removal in our hands, and then we want to try and keep an aggressive hand that's not going to get completely disrupted by a Thoughtseize. So that's the hand we're kind of looking for here. Hopefully we don't have to mulligan on the 4. All right, this hand is medium plus. We have a lot of lands. This might just be a mulligan here. I think we want some aggressive elements. I do think they took a mulligan, I believe. No, they're going to begin the hand with the 7 cards in hand. So I do think we want a mulligan, though. All right, this hand's actually a little bit better. I think we keep it and maybe just put a Shrapnel Blast on the bottom. Mutavault's going to be good in this matchup, being able to attack in at whenever we feel like it. It's going to be pretty good. There's another one off the top. Bomat Courier coming down to start the game. We drew our 3rd land, which is really good. I do think we just lead on this Bomat Courier, hold back the Stonecoil Serpent, I'm pretty sure, and then we just try to keep Spire Bluff Canal up for the Shrapnel Blast if we need to. Let's see. Spheron's Prodigy. Okay, maybe we just go for... Ooh, never mind. Okay, that's our game plan. Let's go aggressive. Gotta go fast. All right, getting here for 5. I don't think they block with Jace. I think they definitely hold it for the removal spells. But next turn, if they decide to blow up our Bomat Courier, I am going to play Stonecoil Serpent for 3, hoping the Skilled Animator the turn after. So we will see here what their play is. If their play is just Uro, I don't think that's going to be very good. Oh, they have another Unravel the Aether. We played against a deck that played that earlier. So I do think here, let's see, we have a choice here of doing Stonecoil Serpent, or we can just Gingerbrute and attack in with a Mutavault. Let's see, Mutavault attack, play Gingerbrute attack. They block the Gingerbrute, which is kind of like whatever. And then next turn we can play Skilled Animator on the Gingerbrute. Or I can just go in all in on the Stonecoil Serpent. I think I want to hold Stonecoil Serpent for a little bit later. I do think I'm going to go ahead and attack in with a Mutavault here. You can keep being aggressive. All right. Tap one of these, activate the other one of these. And if they blow up the Mutavault, that's pretty unfortunate, but hopefully we're going to be able to draw another land here. And then okay, they don't have a removal spell like a Fatal Push, which is good, unless they just draw one here with I would have actually activated this, I think, before damage, because if they drew the Fatal Push here, I think I'd want to Fatal Push the Mutavault. All right, if we draw a land here, what we can do is Skilled Animator the Gingerbrute, and then we can also go through and get in with Hexproof. All right, there's an Uro, gain some life. That's good for our opponent, though. Not Hexproof, I apologize. Unblockability. Unblockability is going to be good here. They could also activate Jace here, flip it. Okay, there's a land, not quite the one we're looking for. So what do we want to do here? I think I like playing the Stonecoil Serpent for 3. And let's see. The other choice we can do is attack in with Gingerbrute. They block, they flip the Jace. Well, they don't even have to flip the Jace. But Jace comes down on 5. We can kill the Jace in response if we want with Gingerbrute, which stops them from getting super aggressive with our hand. Actually, I think... but if I just play the Skilled Animator here, what happens is they block and just bounce it. And I don't want them to be able to flashback Unravel the Aether. Maybe I just pass and then Shrapnel Blast the Jace. I guess I'm going to Stonecoil on 1 and then hold up Shrapnel Blast. Not the best play, but I think it's the play we're going to make here. They don't have the ability to Mystical Dispute Shrapnel Blast, which is good. I really don't think we want this Jace to stick around on the battlefield. And then being able next turn to Skilled Animator. Let's see the activation on Jace. Perfect. Alright, now they're going to discard a card and flip Jace. And I think we're just going to sack this Gingerbrute because Stonecoil Serpent has protection from Uro, which is good. Tormod's Crypt kind of would have been good for this matchup. I did bring in one Tormod's Crypt, didn't I? No, I decided not to. Yeah, I did think about Tormod's Crypt, though. So I do think I'm going to Shrapnel Blast Jace, getting rid of the Gingerbrute. And then hopefully next turn I can just Skilled Animator. Skilled Animator the Stonecoil Serpent. So I'm hoping this turn they just tap out to play Uro and not realize that Uro does not kill Stonecoil Serpent. Ooh, they probably have a Mystical Dispute here. Well, that's not how you play Uro. Hostage Taker? What is this garbage? Protection from Multicolor, though. That's not going to work. Alright, now we have an option. So I have a bad feeling about this. Maybe I just pass this turn, because I really feel like they have Mystical Dispute held up here, especially if they discarded one. And if they do, I'd rather have them play something like Uro next turn, and then when they play Uro, we can Aether Gust it, they can Mystical Dispute in response, and then we can get in with our Skilled Animator. So I think here it's almost not do anything, But that feels really bad also. Our snake successfully, yeah, the kidnap attempt. Yep, snake did not fit in a bag that they were trying to use to kidnap us. What do I do here? I really think skilled animator is gonna be rough for us because I think they're gonna. I can get in here for 1 though. I can still attack because it has protection from multicolored. So I guess I just get in here for 1. The one thing it does die to is Fatal Push, which kind of sucks. I think I just passed the turn. I think I hold up Aether Gust. And there's no way they don't play anything here. Satyr Wayfinder, sure. Are they looking for another land so they can just Aether Gust? Or they can play Uro? Let's see what they take here. Transverse, Mystical Dispute. Alright, they took Overgrown Tomb. And they played it. And now they're just holding up. Interesting. Alright, I think here I'm going to go ahead and try to debate the Mystical Dispute. Alright, they put it on bottom. Alright, maybe I bait the Mystical Dispute now with Pia. Because I do think Skilled Animator might be a little bit better of a choice. Alright, there's that Mystical Dispute I was worried about. So we baited them into that, and now we're going to be able to have a 6/6 attacking next turn. As long as they don't have another Hostage Taker or away the Blink Hostage Taker. Our snake avoiding the kidnapping. I was really worried there for a minute. I was like, them damn pirates. But then I was like, okay, all right, we're good, we're good, we're good. Why wouldn't they flip on their turn? Oh, no, I think that was the correct play. I think most of the time... I guess, like, I don't know. It depends. Against this deck, I think it was the correct play, Fifi, for waiting the flip. Because you want to be able to block. No! 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 That was rude. Alright, so we're at least going to get to Hope Agirapur. And then Skilled Animator here. You hate flipping on your opponent's turn. I only like it against aggressive matchups, and I think this is a matchup that's aggressive enough that they wanna do it. It's all good if you feel like it's the wrong play. If you wanted to play different, that's fine. Ah man, they Skilled Animator killed our Skilled Animator. Our opponent has quite a bit of removal though, so at least we got game number 1, and we're gonna be on the play next game. They probably play Uro here finally, and then if they draw a land, they're probably gonna go ahead and play Murderous Rider. Kidnapping now feels slightly better than outright Shanks. Rip Snake, yeah. It's +1 to -2. Well, yeah, but if we just played... Like, they could have +1 to -2, and then... Or they... Well, they didn't have enough mana to flashback their artifact hate. Maybe they did. I don't remember 100%. Satyr Wayfinder coming in. 4 cards revealed. Did all of them go to the grave? No, they Breeding Pool. Alright, Dismiss All. Hostage Taker coming in. That's fine. Let's see if we can find something good here. Bomat Courier is going to at least buy us a card here. So we'll go ahead and attack with both. I think we'll pop this Bomat Courier hoping to find something. If we find that something, that'll be good. If we don't find that something, that'll be a little bad. But hopefully here... I would like a Stonecoil Serpent. That would be really good. Attacking with both. Get a card under Bomat. Force them to block. Force them to block. Pop the Bomat. Get a card. Get a Spire Bluff Canal. That's alright, we're going to keep playing our lands here because we want to be able to play a huge Stonecoil if we find it. Hey Dan, go enjoy your stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. Why you could. There's a Vivian. Vivian going to pop here. That's a pretty rough one. Ooh, Vivian did not crack us in the head with Hope Agirapur here. There's a Jace. Asha Taker. Let's see. What did they reveal? Jace? Okay, Dismiss All. Play a land. Get in for 6. This one is definitely slipping away from us. We have a Mystical Dispute finally. I do think we're going to go ahead and concede, save some time, get into the next match. This one is falling way too far away. All right, let's see here. Wild Slash, not that important. Abrade, okay. Fry, not that great. Aether Sphere Harvester. Interesting thought. I could see maybe playing it because it's a flying artifact. They do have the ability to shuffle that one away, though. Maybe I do not play the Aether Sphere Harvester. I do think I wanted the 2 cryptic commands in this matchup. I think maybe we just cut the Ornithopters. I don't think the Ornithopters is that good post side. It is a flyer, which is good, but again, we're going to have other abilities to get through, either with Gingerbrew or Bowmat. Maybe I do cut 1 Bowmat, leave one Ornithopter. I think that's okay. That's not great. Again, they have a lot of targeted removal here. Best play, I think, is Ensoul Artifact on Darksteel in this matchup. I think that's definitely pretty good. We do have the Metallic Rebukes and Mystical Disputes. We do have a lot of skilled animators here. Maybe I do trim a skilled animator here for an Aether Sphere Harvester and see how that plays out. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 3 of this match. Let's see. We have the turn 2 Ensoul Artifact. We have a Darksteel Citadel. We have a turn 2 Steel Overseer as well. I think this is a great hand. What we're actually going to do is not play a turn 2 Ensoul. We're actually going to play a turn 2 Steel Overseer. So let's hope they do not have. I guess what it depends on too is whether or not they have a Thoughtseize or not. If they have a Thoughtseize and take our Ensoul Artifact, that's going to suck. But we'll play Steel Overseer and hope to get the W's with the Gingerbrew, the Stonecoil Serpent, and the Steel Overseer. So we'll get in aggressive for 1. Our opponent will take their play. We'll see if they just bolt this. If they do, that's fine. Not bolt, Fatal Push. Don't eat my food, opponent. I would like to eat my food for extra life. Let's see if they have the Thoughtseize. All right, they don't have the Thoughtseize. They're actually going to pass the turn, which is actually pretty good and pretty interesting because I believe, to my best of my ability and knowledge, they have a Fatal Push that they want to use. So again, I don't want to play this Ensoul Artifact. I want to play this Ensoul Artifact on Darksteel Citadel. Why don't they have the Thoughtseize? I mean, they might have the Thoughtseize still in their main deck, but they probably have a Fatal Push here. They didn't want me to Ensoul Artifact the Gingerbrew. They wanted to be able to push it. And welcome, NosJ. Thank you so much for joining me on stream today. But they most likely wanted to push anything that I wanted to Ensoul before the Ensoul can come down. But what they don't know is that I'm going to Ensoul this Darksteel Citadel, and if they don't have the Thoughtseize, the heck is the... Oh, where the heck is the Thoughtseize? Yeah. If they don't have the Thoughtseize, we're going to go ahead and probably ruin their life with this Darksteel Citadel. Definitely a good one. Hopefully we are able to... They probably push here. Ooh, they don't do anything. Wow, I'm impressed with that one. I'm very surprised with that one. So we are going to go ahead and play next turn Spiral Bluff Canal, and then again play the Ensoul Artifact on the Darksteel. Pump up the team if they don't kill Steel Overseer, and hopefully get in for a bunch of damage. So we'll see here. If they have the Thoughtseize, again playing a Stonecoil Serpent next turn, not the worst play in the world. Wow, did they just not have anything here? Okay, so we're going to go ahead here and attempt to Ensoul Artifact the Darksteel Citadel. They could be able to put an artifact on the bottom of our library. So again, they do have removal spells that don't just kill. But if they only have kill spells in hand, that's definitely going to be a rough one for our opponent. A rough one. But let's see here what our opponent has, if they have anything. Let's go ahead and attack in for 6 and then pump up the team. All right, let's see if they do have any removal spells here. I have to imagine they have something. All right, pump up the team. They probably put this on bottom. Yeah, put that on bottom. Yep, okay, they do have that, so that's good at least. Next turn, I think we use it to play the Aether Sphere Harvester, and then we just get in with our flyers here. But I think we're still in pretty good shape here. Let's see what our opponent plays. Satyr Wayfinder, not the best card. Maybe here I actually just activate Mutavault, attack in for 4 or 6 or something. They get a Fable Passage out of this. They have a Uro. Ooh, there's a Ghost Fire Blade. Does that change my clock any? Do I want to get aggressive here. I mean, it changes my clock quite a bit. Let's see here. We attack for 5, unblockable. I think the smarter play here is to play, maybe just play the Stonecoil Serpent. And then threaten activation of... I think I do want to play the Stonecoil here. I do want to pump the team. And then I think I just go ahead and swing in for 3. And then next turn we have the ability to Ghostfire Blade on the Stonecoil Serpent, making it a 7/7 as long as we still have our Steel Overseer. Yeah, this turn we're not getting in for a lot of damage, but hopefully they're going to be able to... they're not going to be able to do anything here. If they do have a board wipe or something here, that's going to be really unfortunate. But what we're going to be able to do then is play this Ghostfire Blade, activate Mutavault. If we draw a land, we can go ahead and, aside from the Dom and Ixalan, the heck is Thoughtseize? I mean, what the heck is Thoughtseize? I have no clue about pre-Guilds of Ravnica. Oh, aside from Dom and Ixalan. Oh, sorry. Nosjay. Thoughtseize. Give me 1 second. I go to the Gatherer. The Thoughtseize is this card. Thoughtseize is choose... target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. They discard it, and you lose 2 life. So that is what Thoughtseize is. Alright, we're going to go ahead back to here. Alright, let's see what they got here. They could have the Fatal Push. They could also just play Uro. And if Uro's their best play, they're going to have a Rude Awakening to some aggressive plays here. Alright, they have the Uro. And I think next turn we just play Ghostfire Blade, give Gingerbrute unblockable. Ooh, they probably have the Fatal Push. That kind of sucks. Alright, Fatal Push now, or wait? Are they going to let us untap? Because if we draw a Counterspell, that's going to be in pretty good shape. Oh, so Thought Erasure, that shocks you? Yeah, exactly, for 1 mana. Yeah, I would Fatal Push here. Alright. So let's see here. What's the best play? I like Harvester. I kind of like just Harvestering here and then giving Gingerbrute unblockable. They're going to be able to attack for quite a bit. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and give this. Pump the team. We're going to go ahead and get in for 4 here. And then next turn, we're going to have the ability to activate Mutavault, crew the Aether Sphere Harvester, and start getting in for, what is it, 8 damage, 9 damage a turn. So I think we're still in pretty good shape, despite them getting down this Uro. We definitely don't want them to, have a bunch of removal in their hand, but they do have 5 cards. So that is something we have to be a little wary of. We are currently 1-2. But we're hoping to at least go 3-2 in this league. But let's go ahead and see here. They draw with Uro. They play a land. They're probably going to end up... So Fable Passage is a little bit worrisome also because they can just Aether Sphere. They can just kill Aether Sphere here, which kind of sucks. So they have 5 cards in hand. I'm hoping they have a lot of just silly counter spells and not a lot of... Okay. All right, Jace is fine, I think, here. We are at 13, so we do have to be aware of that. We are facing down an Uro. We are fighting back and forth pretty well. So I think next turn what the play is activate Mutavault. Okay, there's a Spire Bluff Canal. Not the land we were looking for. Activate Mutavault, crew Aether Sphere Harvester. Pump the team. Or do we just attack? Is it better to attack in with Harvester as well? Let's see. If we attack with everything here, it's for 11. If they have a removal spell, it's for 7. If we attack with just Gingerbrew and Harvester here, it is... it's 9. If they have a removal spell, it's 5 or 4. So I think it's better here actually to just play the Ghostfire Blade, play the Mutavault, or activate Mutavault, crew the Harvester, and attack in with everything. Mystical Dispute. I mean, do they just have a bunch of silly counter spells in hand? Do I just attack for 8 here? I can't imagine they block. Yeah, I think I just attack for 8. PM do another card. Another card was spoiled. Thank you, for, Polaris, for keeping us up to date. So this is Cunning Nightbrood, blue creature, human, rogue. It has flash. You can cast this for the flash cost if you pay 1. Wait, rogue has flash. You cast with flash, cost 1 less to cast and can't be countered. It's just a 2/2. Is that supposed to be 1 less to cast or 1 more to cast? Alright, down to 13. Threatening, lethal. We'll see what they have. They don't have the ability just to Fatal Push the Aether Sphere Harvester now, so they definitely have to... what do they have? Another Uro. They probably keep this one, I imagine. They have to find a removal spell here, I'm assuming. Oh, they can Jace, I guess. Alright, draw, discard, flashback, Fatal Push. They have that ability. Fatal Push the Steel Overseer. I mean, they could just go ham on our cards right now. Oh, Languish. That kind of sucks. Traverse. Okay. What are you going to get? Ishkana? I mean, we can attack in here for 5. Yeah, they get Ishkana. We have to draw some sort of counter spell, but I don't think it matters because our counter spells are only... Yeah, and drawing a land, that's not great. Let's see, attack in for 5. This turn, lifelink. They play Ishkana. I think that's just going to be game. We're going to go ahead and play it out, though. But I don't think there's going to be anything we can do about this. Through 1. We're going to go ahead and Ghostfire Blade here. Play a land. Attack. Give this lifelink. Oh, I yield. My bad. So now do we just lose to pretty much anything? Yeah, not giving that lifelink was definitely a mistake on my part. That was my bad. Every minute getting closer to the 96,666 points. Yep. That's what you have to get to play against me, right? Yep, fight me on stream. It's all good. It really doesn't take, like, it definitely seems like a long time, but I don't think it's as long as people realize. Okay, and not... Let's see, we attack here. Yeah, I think we just lose because they can just untap and activate. All right. Yeah, unfortunately, we should be at a higher life total. Drew one. We should be at 6 right now, and we're not. Attack. Drawing a couple lands there, pretty unfortunate. They won. Alright, and that's our opponent's GG's. And they have the Abrupt Decay to finish it off. Alright, concede. Good game, opponent. That was pretty unfortunate for us. Alright, how's this hand look? Couple Shrapnel Blast, couple Ginger Brutes. I think it's worth keeping. We're pretty aggressive. If they have any removal, we're going to be able to go ahead and Shrapnel Blast away our creatures that are about to die. So we do want to play a little bit more conservative here. But let's go ahead and see what our opponent's on. Hopefully we're just going to be able to get under them here and get a lot of damage in. So Breeding Pool to start, and they paid the 2. What do they have here? They have a Mausoleum Wanderer. So Mausoleum Wanderer, not one we're too worried about. I do think we're going to go ahead here and attack in with Ginger Brute. We'll see if they make the trade. They probably don't. I do think maybe I just go ahead and play Stonecoil Serpent here for 2. Maybe I should have just played the Ginger Brute this turn. I don't know. Let's go ahead and play Stonecoil Serpent and for 2 and see if we can make a trade with this Mausoleum Wanderer. All right, our opponent going ahead and playing Glacial Fortress. I think this is the best deck in Pioneer that we're facing down right now. So definitely something that's going to be good against us for the most part. All right, Darksteel Citadel for us. Let's go ahead and play out. I guess we just jam this Ginger Brute. Give both our Ginger Brutes unblockable. And attack in for 2. A little bit of slower start again. Pretty unfortunate for us. But hopefully we can get there in the long run. I do think Izzet Ensoul is one of the harder ones for Spirits to actually beat. So we'll see here. They most likely here have a Spell Queller, or they have a Nimblegast Herald, or they have more Mausoleum Wanderers and some Supreme Phantoms. So definitely something that I'm interested in. That's not too bad. They got some Supreme Phantoms. Definitely an aggressive attack here for from our opponent. Attacking in for 6, I think that's fine. I think we have to take that. They are threatening lethal the following turn here, so we do have to be conscious of that. Let's see here. Hold up. Kind of like holding up a Shrapnel Blast here. I like going ahead and getting in with the Ginger Brutes. Go ahead and pay 1. Go ahead and pay 1. And now we have the ability to not only Stonecoil Serpent and block something if we need to, but we have the ability to Shrapnel Blast our opponent in the face if we get a chance to. They most likely here... Actually, I wonder if I'm supposed to Shrapnel Blast them now. Because if they just attack for lethal and have Spell Queller, then we're going to be in a pretty unfortunate territory. I guess I hold Shrapnel Blast for the minute. Right, they probably have Collect a Company here. Alright, in response to attacking, I'm going to attempt to Shrapnel Blast them in the face. I'm going to go ahead and start a sack of Darksteel. We'll see if they have Collect a Company here, if they just have the Spell Queller. Alright, Spell Queller here is fine. Now what I'm going to be able to do is block with Stonecoil Serpent. Again, it's pretty unfortunate. We're going to lose our Stonecoil Serpent. But again, this is what I kind of presumed would happen. Now we're at 2. What do we draw? We draw another Stonecoil Serpent. This is not going to be good enough for the W's. What do we do here? Shrapnel Blast the Spell Queller. They sack a Wanderer. We die. We die. Yeah, not a great start to us. I do think this is going to be a concession. I do think Bant Spirit's one of the best decks in Pioneer. I do think I want these Mystical Disputes. That is definitely a 4 of. I'm sorry, a 3 of. I do think Metallic Rebuke might be a little too slow. We want to be aggressive. We want to definitely hit our opponent in the face, but we want to make sure we're doing it in a polite manner where we're able to get under them and then Mystical Dispute their items away. I like the Ensoul artifacts. I'm a little less happy with the Shrapnel Blasts. Are we about to know how it feels to be tapped out by Nemblegast Herald? Exactly. That is what I'm worried about. I do like the Shadow Spear here. Giving Trample and Lifelink is good. I don't mind the Aether Sphere Harvester. I could also see, since Fry can't be countered, I could see bringing in a couple Fries here. Fry's definitely going to be a good one in this matchup. I could see trimming a couple Ornithopters. Steel Overseer is good, but I think I want a Pia and a Lar. And I think overall that's going to be what we do here. Our Mystical Disputes and Fries are our main removal here. And then we're just going to kind of trample over, hit our opponent for a lot. Let's see if we can get a more aggressive hand here. All right, this hand is not that aggressive. Not really aggressive at all. I do like the turn 1 Ginger Brew. And then we could Shadow Spear. But again, I think this might have to be a mulligan here. I think we're looking for an artifact. Okay, this is a little bit better. A lot of the same cards, but we have the turn 2 Steel Overseer. I think this is going to be a keep. I think we just put a Shivan Reef on the bottom. Again, we have... Our hand didn't change that much. We still have a Ginger Brew. But now we have the Fry and the Steel Overseer, which is good. How does someone fry a spirit? Well, you see, we are ghost catchers here. We are definitely going to be some ghost adventurers. We're going to catch a spirit. Let's fry one up. Oh, I do not want to concede. That was almost really bad here. But we're going to go ahead and get in for one. Let's see what we can do. Holy cow. Let's fry some spirits. But yes, let's fry some spirits, they said. Steel Overseer, very good card. We're going to have the ability to hold up Fry and Mystical Dispute next turn. I do think I want to pay this. I do think I want to get in with Ghostfire Blade. And I think we're going to go ahead and see if our opponent has anything here, which I don't think they do. I don't know what our opponent did to their sideboard, but where's all their creatures? Their creatures are not existent. If their best card here is Rattle Chains, I think that's fine. A Null? A Null from Spirits? I think I'm going to attempt to Mystical Dispute that. And we'll see if they have a Mystical Dispute of their own. I don't think they do, though. Okay, so that's going to get in. Come on down to the Ghostfire Blade and Gingerbrute combo. Let's go ahead and get in with Steel Overseer and attack in for 4. And we're looking in pretty hot shape. And having this Fry in hand that can't be countered, extremely good against Spirit. We're going to go ahead and watch those spirits burst up into little flames here. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, today. Temple of Garden enters the battlefield tapped. Okay, what do you got there? I would like to go ahead and make this a 5/5. I would like to attack, and I would like to hold up this Shrapnel Blast and the Fry, seeing what our opponent has. Either way, I'm going to be able to start getting it for 5 a turn, unblockable by this Ginger Brew. Ain't no spirits have any haste. So I do think even if they play whatever they're going to play, I know what they're going to play. Not Selfless Spirit, it's Rattle Chains. They're going to play Rattle Chains here. Again, I think that's fine. Even if they play Rattle Chains at the end of turn here, I think I just let it happen. Alright, what do they do? What do they do? Rattle Chains. I think that's fine. Let's see, they untap. What do they have? Nothing. They don't have anything. Alright, Hexproof and Rattle Chains. I guess Fry can get countered by Hexproof. That's pretty unfortunate. That one might suck, but I think being able to attack in for 6 a turn. Are they gonna race us here? I bet they have Nemblegast Herald. All right, let's go ahead and play a Bomat Courier here, and then I'll pump the team, and then I'll get in for 8. One shy of lethal. Do they have the Nemblegast Herald? They have a Collected Company. We don't have a counter spell in hand for a Collected Company. But now they're digging for a Nemblegast Herald. There's a Herald, and there's another Herald. That sucks. Don't be heralding me, opponent. That is not good. All right, you got. I get it, man. I get it. All right, I think here I just go ahead and fry out a Nimblegast Herald, and hopefully here, I want to do it there because they can counter fry with Selfless Spirit, but also I just want to make sure we can get in next turn with as much as we can. So next turn's going to be interesting because I have the ability here to... All right, they're going to get in. All right, they're going to pump the team. That's fine. They can tap something, whatever. Whatever. All right, next turn is definitely going to be interesting. So we have a Bomat Courier here. Maybe I just play the Bomat and attack. All right, they want to tap this down, I'm sure. Nimblegast is fine. I think I still attack with both the Bomats. And if either of these... Oh, they had another Nembled, so that doesn't work. And now, do they have lethal? 3, 6, 9, 10 exactly. That sucks. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get in. All right, they take the 2. And now I think I go ahead and Shrapnel Blast. Okay, this is representative of a bunch of damage. I think I have to get rid of a Herald here. Unfortunately, we're 2 damage short from just killing them. All right, we got rid of 1 Herald. Let's see what they got now. All right, there's the Mausoleum Wanderer. That'll tap something with Herald. I'm surprised they didn't just wait to play that. But okay. Maybe it's in case we draw anything. All right, we're at 3. Ensoul Artifact. They have to have another spirit here, I assume. All right, now they tap down and block. Yeah, I think they have this one. Spirits, best deck in Pioneer, in my opinion. That kind of sucks. How does someone fry a spirit? You could have ensouled the Ghostfire for another attacker, right? Yeah, but here's the thing. Wait, are they actually... Okay. They must have another spirit here. Oh, you're right. I could have ensouled the Ghostfire. Okay. I don't think it would have mattered, though, because now they have a bunch of attackers. I had to get in for 7 this turn, and there was no way I could. I wish this gave hexproof. You're right, though. You're right, Polaris. I could have attacked with the Ghostfire Blade as another thing, but they could have just double blocked, sacked, or did their thing and would have got in for lethal anyhow. But we lost to Bant Spirits, the best deck in my opinion in Pioneer. Pretty unfortunate. That kind of really sucked. We went 1-4. So Izzet Ensoul, maybe not the best choice in Pioneer right now, but I did want to try it out. I wanted to see how it went. Again, we're a channel focused around learning and growing and as an MTG player. So again, that is determining whether or not maybe Ensoul Artifacts is good or if Bant Spirits is still the best deck in Pioneer. And I really think Bant Spirits is the best deck in Pioneer. We have 2 trophies with the Bant Spirits list. I'll pull up our list here for everyone to copy in case they wanted to. Let's go ahead and exit out of this. Collection. Bant Spirits, what's the recent updated list? I really like this list a lot. This is the list that we actually have 2 5-0s with, and then we went 3-2 in the last league we played. But yeah, I like this list. I like playing the Archangel Avacyn. I like the Mystical Disputes and the Disdainful Strokes. I really like the sideboard. I like the main deck, and I think Bant Spirits is the best deck ever in Pioneer.
right now, and I'm going to probably play this. The other thing with this deck is it is pretty safe. It is not one of those decks that's going away anytime soon. If you buy these cards, I really don't think any of these cards on face value is overpowering, so I really don't think you're going to get a ban unless we get a Collect a Company ban, which kind of would suck. But for the same thing, if you get a Collect a Company ban, there's a really good Blue-White Spirits list out as well. Again, I think this is one of the best decks in Pioneer, which is what we lost to the last round there. But thank you so much for watching if you're watching this on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today if you're watching this on Twitch. And please follow along at both places. Hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube or follow along on Twitch. Every new follower on Twitch this week is going to get an Easter egg. We're going to fill our Easter egg basket as much as we can. But thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like and subscribe button. Also, check out the description below for more Magic the Gathering content. This was Jordan with Crocodile MTG, and we will see you next time.